The Isle of Skye is a small island off the west coast of Scotland. I travelled here to see how locals are dealing with the recent surge of tourism. This summer, holidaygoers are flocking to the island. Local police have had to issue warnings to say that the island just doesn't have enough accommodation. I will be speaking to islanders about how this issue has affected their livelihoods and to show how these locals are adapting to their new guests. Skye offers a range of different independent businesses. From pottery to fishing, Skye is home to a hub of locally sourced items. I firstly wanted to speak to a local who is one of the minority still working on the island in his profession.
My great-grandfather had cattle, sheep and cattle in Sconser and Crofter. My grandfather, who I remember, he had a well-known herd of pedigree Highland cattle. And when he passed away, my father took over the crofts. So we always had cattle as I grew up. We used to have a couple of milking cows as well. That used to be my job before I went to school in the morning, was help my mother milk the cows. The tourists there all the time stopping to take photos of the cattle and stuff. She thought it's just for a matter of interest to put that up and see where the cows got to photos. I'm not computer literate in any way. If I can't hit it with a hammer, it's not really much good to me. There's my daughter, Heather. Heather loves the cows as well, and she likes playing with the computer. Big eyes.
Secondly, I wanted to speak to someone who would know more about the agricultural side of Skye and how it is being affected by modern day life. I met up with Agricultural Officer Tom Palmer to learn more on the matter.
In my personal experience in Skye over the last 30 years, stock numbers have decreased, especially sheep, quite dramatically. But the numbers have dropped from approximately between 90,000 and 100,000 breeding ewes 30 years ago to between 50,000 and 60,000 breeding ewes now. People need higher incomes to survive nowadays, and the amount of work and hours it has to go into looking after stock puts off people, often younger folk, but also to get their hands on land here to inherit or get assignations of crofts is quite difficult. Well, people may have felt it was slightly easier to make an income from tourism, but to be fair, a lot of the crofters and the small-scale agriculturalists, their wives or their families are also involved in tourism or themselves. People living in these places have to be prepared to turn their hand to a few jobs. But there's guys here who are crofters, they're also fishermen, they're also postmen, and they're also working in tourism, so yeah. They have to be diverse to keep things going.
Finally, I wanted to meet someone who was using the current surge of tourism to their own benefit. I found Pam and Kevin Simister, who own a local charter boat and their own B&B.
When we bought this boat, we'd already been in tourism for some time. We do bed and breakfast and self-catering at the house, which I had developed while Kevin had a fishing career and a lifeboat career. And it was only when Kevin retired from the lifeboat that we started to work together. We used to do like tourist trips for 12 people, where we would take them out to see the sea eagle or any wildlife round and about, and give them a bit of history, and I would do, believe it or not, I would do the commentary while Kevin would drive the boat. As tourism is blossoming, you need to keep the customer satisfied. Yeah, okay. If you haven't got the showers and the washing facilities and the laundry facilities, then you really do struggle, to make people feel it's a great place to visit. We just can't cope with the volume of enquiries we're getting, and today I've answered 25 enquiries for accommodation. All the efforts we've put in have been well rewarded, so I love it. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else.